Recently, I've been watching speedrun explanations thinking I could do the hardest trick, so I've picked a random game to try and speedrun, only using what I see from the world record. This means no guides and no help at all. First thing I need to do is actually watch the record. Okay, I've just watched the world record for the run I'm doing after it was overtaken, and there are about 7 main things that I've done very quickly that I'm quite worried about, and also these are just things that I've come up with. There's the fire stove thing. That painting looks funny. Who let the goat out? Lamb chops. If a paranormal investigator had a gun. Muff. And final boss. Now I'm gonna try my first run and see how it goes. Let me just say that it didn't go well. I completely forgot to do something. Why can't I do this? It costed me like a good few minutes. The first section that I said would be a problem is a problem. Who would have guessed? I can't seem to get past it. I'm absolutely baffled, I think. As I'm only allowed to watch the world record, there are some big things that I need to find out myself. For example, the movement is a big part because the time I lose could be the difference between a few places. Okay, I need to watch it again a bit more time because I screwed that up so badly. I just spent half an hour. I was literally right at the exit. After getting annoyed at failing, I took a break, and after trying again, it finally happened.
Thank goodness. You severed the link.
Holy, that was close.
I overheard Mother talking of a fate.
Oh my god. I've actually finished the run. 25! Let's go! I also finished the run on hard mode, and I'm going to use the world record to see what I screwed up. Okay, so the purple clips is the current world record, and you can see that the bit I've been practicing the most is a bit that I'm closest to the world record with. Apart from that, I'm screwed. Day 2 was full of resets because this one has a lot of luck involved and also a lot of skill. To make this speedrun a bit easier, I started on hard mode, which meant less time between rounds, so it was quicker at the start, and around the third run where I start buying things, I decreased the difficulty so the items were cheaper and stay on normal mode for the rest of the run. And the last run of that day was the only one that actually PB'd. Let's go! Now comparing this run to the world record, there are around 4 major sections where I'm lacking a lot, which is the Thunderbolt section, the Moth section right after that, the Lamb Sacrifice section, and the source of most resets and bad luck, the Fire Stove section. 22! Holy! I'm starting to get a bit worried now. I'm gonna be completely honest. I don't know how much farther I can push this. Obviously, I'm not incredibly dedicated. There are some big things I improved in this run. For example, a big thing I realized is that you can shoot the cages with your normal tier 1 gun instead of a tier 0, which is much better. And also my Lamb Sacrifice section was so much better than the last ones. However, there are still some big areas I need to improve on, which is mostly luck. So hopefully it's only a matter of time before I get the placement I want. Probably gonna be the last attempt. Normally I buy a new gun on round 2, but as I'm still using the starter pistol, I get to save some money when I change difficulties. Here I'm decreasing the difficulty back down to normal so then I can buy things at a cheaper price. After realizing that this is the last zombie, I run through the doors I bought last round to start the first task, which also signifies the start of the main quest. After clearing out round 4, we had our first Abraham fight. In my runs, the strat was to knife him anytime I was low on ammo so that I could still do damage while I was using time to reload. The main thing we want from killing Abraham is either a half price or a triple points, which I got half price and nearly picked it up by the wrong time. Round 6 starting also signifies when the quest is continued. To hit the trigger, you need to go into the room a bit, so standing in the middle of the door is the quickest way to trigger that. This is also where I lost time in my first attempt. This is normally when runners would start a new round, but I tried to save some time by fighting enemies so that I could quickly get the next stage done. This time I had perfect luck having the first stage done by the time a Blaze Flinger had spawned, and as this was the last enemy, I was able to be more relaxed with it. If 2 Blaze Flingers spawn, you can a lot of the time have one kill the other, which only counts as one dying, which could cause a time loss. When the bar's at 80, you could just kill the Blaze Flinger so that the bar is completely full, but this time it did start a new round, which did lose a small bit of time. This next section with the intros is a big definer of if a run is reset or if it continues, because I've had so many runs on a good pace that I had to reset just because of bad luck. Also, a big factor in this is if I get enough to pack a punch my weapon, which I do by getting a triple points. This also helps pay for the door that's needed for the next section. This is the last round I need the intros by for me to have a comfortable game, because not only would I majorly lose time with the space between rounds, but in 2 rounds is Abraham, and how he spawns can change a lot. Another way I can lose a run is from having a bad Molotov miracle, as it's great for crowd control for me, but for others I don't think it matters that much for them. I'm hoping that when I kill those 2, the last 2 intros I need drop, but thankfully at least one has, and I see another one on the ground. In the next section, I need to pick up a lantern from above and use it to find a code in the paintings. After going back up to the surface, I can pick up the old lantern and find the symbols. Thankfully, the paintings all have the same order, going 3, 1, 2, 4. The main reason I'm stalling the round change is because as I already have enough money, I can make this next section a lot smoother. Oh, f off. Trials are a big thing I couldn't find out how to prevent from the world record, but they could cause a big time loss if they happen, as when they fail, either the abomination spawns or all enemies are aggro. On the other hand, I learned how you can see these goats by just turning off the fog, and I can shoot them from the stand and then just crack the code. Turning off the fog also lets you know when they're done, so you can move to the next one. Buying this door just makes the section of moving the lamb a bit quicker. If you leave enemies alive for too long, it changes round. However, for me, it wasn't the greatest time, as the next section requires a lot of enemies, but I had to kill a few before it, which lost some time. As I said earlier, the abomination spawning could have lost a bit of time, but as I was in the middle of moving the lamb, it could have gone worse. What I want to do here is not kill any enemies until the ring shows up on the floor, because then I need to kill enough for the bar to fill up to then get the cylinder. As it's now round 10, Abraham will spawn, and killing him in a circle will get an extra 5%, but I'm going to keep him alive for a bit, mostly because that's why I saw in the world record. Something I didn't realise until this one was that only you need to be in the circle, so getting a big crowd can just end up being a time loss. This section always ended up losing me time, as close to the end I would need to spawn a new round in, which as I said earlier lost me time. I always stood right in front of the cylinder at the end of the round so I could actually end up picking it up quickly and then go over to the next section, which is also a bit of a time loss if you get it wrong. With the grass being so prominent, getting these banshees was annoying because they were very difficult to see. This time it was different, getting 4 banshees with 1 Molotov. Getting the metal scarecrows was the biggest time loss in this section, sometimes causing a reset because I never found out their locations off by heart. Earlier in the video I talked about using the tier 1 gun instead of the other gun to shoot these cages, and that's because of the much higher amount of ammo and damage with the tier 1. As I was at the end of a round, I was able to stall for this task so I could pick up the cylinder and start the new round at the right time. Around here is when I start the new round, so I had enough time to fill in the podium and get to the backup generator at the right time. In this section you can only really kill a couple at most to complete it in the smallest amount of rounds. In this run I messed up a bit, causing me to lose some time. The blaze flingers were the main reason I would lose time, as they would end up killing too many when I killed them. Oh, I didn't mean to do that. Well, that's annoying. In this run, if I saved a couple more enemies, I would have done it without needing to go to the next round. I got 12k, we're quite close to the second Pack-a-Punch. The second tier is the only thing that's able to quickly defeat Abraham. In this section, I would get the rest of the money for the next tier while still keeping one enemy alive, so the rest of the game is much easier. Sadly, I did lose a bit of time here when I missed any hits with the knife. Now it was just the final fight with Abraham that I had to deal with.
Nothing to protect the border. Thank goodness you severed the link against all the odds. Though I fear this is not the last we've.
Okay, please. 2049. We're top 20. Oh my god, we did it. Holy shit. Although I made a lot of mistakes, I did end up getting the placement I wanted, and now I had to submit the run. Okay, right, so I think we can finally submit the run. Let's submit it. Let's see if they verify it this morning or in the morning. Look who it is! It's me! It's me! I'm 20th. I'm happy with that. I'm really happy with that. Okay, watch this quickly.
You're here, draw it. That's lucky. He's such a faithful dog.
What the fuck?